So now that you've got your Pico and linking sentence defined, we do need to do one other check on feasibility. And that is to make sure you're not duplicating what somebody has done before. So we are going to use a technique that we're going to come to and use frequently called the nearest neighbor match. And to do this, we are going to go try to find the existing paper in Google Scholar that is the closest to yours. And we're going to do that by just dropping in our linking sentence into the Google Scholar search. So let me pull this out and let's do this as a concrete example. So here we are in Google Scholar, and let's go with the example of the impact of poverty on HIV treatment outcomes. Specifically in this case, I'm going to look for a systematic review because I want to see if somebody has already done a systematic review on this topic. And I want to find the systematic reviews that are the closest to mine. Again, this is going to make sure I'm not duplicating what somebody else has done. And importantly, it's also going to give me a point of reference, a point of departure to say, here's the gap. This is the closest paper to mine. And this was maybe done years ago, or maybe didn't look at important things, and help me justify what is going to be the contribution of my paper and what gap I'm going to fill with what I'm doing. So let's look here, systematic review of poverty impact on HIV treatment outcomes. Let's just see what comes up. And here we go. Microfinance interventions, treatment outcomes. Here's something on TB. Here's diabetes on tuberculosis treatment outcomes. I can see a range here, a choice of initial antiretroviral drugs and treatment outcomes. So I'm actually not seeing anything specifically on poverty and HIV treatment outcomes. This is really nice. I might go through a few pages here just to make sure that I've left no stone unturned and I'm not duplicating something that's been done before. Again, it's one of the worst things that can happen to you. Get through your review, you try to submit it, and then realize it's been done. We actually are going to have another check for many of you along the way to ensure that's not the case. But try to nip that in the bud now and look very hard to make sure it hasn't been done before. So I'm seeing a few papers that conceptually might be the closest to mine. And these here, I think I want to look for one that's on HIV. This one's pretty good. This is a recent paper. So this could potentially be a good nearest neighbor. You might look for a different disease that's quite similar to HIV that did this, but did a systematic review maybe on the impact of poverty on diabetes treatment outcomes. That could give you a really nice framework and a point of reference that could be really helpful for you as you proceed in your paper. But I think what I'd probably choose is this systematic review of initial antiretroviral drugs and treatment outcomes. That looks like it was pretty well done. The main point is to make sure you're not duplicating papers that have been done before, and to help you justify later on in your introduction what the gap is, and also give you a paper that you can potentially model off of when you write up yours. So yeah, in this case, the HIV example, I also really like this paper, and this paper has been cited a lot. The impact of HIV-related stigma on treatment adherence. Okay, I've now decided several potential ones. Again, there's no right or wrong answer to this, but I think this is going to be the paper that I'm going to choose for my nearest neighbor match. And I'm going to come here, copy this paper, and it's really, again, in terms of forecasting our impact, really nice sign that I can see this is cited so highly. And sometimes too, choosing this will give you related articles. You might click here and just make sure that doesn't turn over a stone where you say, somebody's already done this. I'd be wasting my time. So, but this is really nice. Again, it just reinforces that there's a really good debate here, and your Pico linking sentence is really going to help you in this step. Okay, complete the worksheet and you are ready to go after this session to week